the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has commenced the display of voters' register in all the voting units across the country, calling on Nigerians to utilize the opportunity and check their names on the list. The Osun State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Mr. Mutiu Agboke, who announced this during the sensitization program at the Osogbo Central Mosque, Joba, called on Nigerians to support INEC in its bid to deliver a free, fair, incredible election come next year. Omotayo Adebodu was there for OSBC News.
Ahead of the 2023 general election, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, began a sensitization move to educate Nigerians on the need to verify their names, as the agency has concluded arrangement to publish the voters' register on polling units ahead of next year's general election. Speaking at the Osogbo Central Mosque, the resident electoral commissioner, Dr. Mutiu Agboke, who led other members of the electoral body in the state, assured that the step so far taken by INEC is in line with the electoral law towards ensuring that no eligible voter will be left disenfranchised.
It's part of our sensitization strategy. Sensitization strategy with a view of mainstreaming the major stakeholders in the activities of INEC. You know, there are a lot of activities that we need to carry out. INEC is aware, stakeholders are aware, but there are some of them that we need to carry out. We need to go and meet our stakeholders, and that is why we are using this religious platform to pass across to our voters.
Dr. Agboke further called on the people of Osun to cooperate with INEC as the Commission embark on display of the entire National Register of Voters for claims and objection by citizens as required by law, and approved the methodology for the exercise.
The claims, is being rounded up today, and all our staff will move from the RA level or ward level to the local government. So from tomorrow, we expect them to start objecting. When we say object, we want you to object. Tell us that you are able to find the names of some dead people in our register. Tell us that some people are not Nigerians. You have found their names in the register. Tell us, this, information, so that INEC can use it to register some of them, to clean up, the register. Not only that, collection of PVC is still a continuous exercise. Those who have not collected the PVC, they have the opportunity of going to the local government to collect their PVC.
In his remarks, the Chief Imam of Osogbo, Sheikh Musa Animashaun, appreciated the visit and called on the chairman of INEC and other officials to discharge their duties without fear or favor, but put God first and be steadfast. The display of voters' register is expected to end next month. Omotayo Adebodu, OSBC News.
The Grassroots Independent Campaign Council of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC has commenced the training of its state coordinators on anger management as political campaigns gain momentum. The Train the Trainer project is aimed at preparing and equipping campaign mobilizers with the challenges inherent in the task of reaching out to the electorate to bring the message of the party and its presidential candidates to the people in a way it will resonate them. Addressing newsmen in Abuja on the empowerment program, the Director, Media and Publicity of the Council, Hilliard Eta, said this was the first time that campaigners are targeted for the purpose. The former acting national chairman said the essence of the retreat was to equip the foot soldiers of the party on how to market the candidate of the party, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and convince more Nigerians. He also counselled the electorate not to listen to the sound bite that was couched in mudslinging and character assassination by some politicians during the electioneering campaign period. The government of the state of Osun has reiterated their commitment to sustaining a social intervention program aimed at raising the standard of living of the people, stimulate the economy, and to make life meaningful and worthwhile for the generality of the people. Recall that the administration of Dr. Itola had in April 2021 inaugurated the monthly distribution of food items to the vulnerable citizens as part of efforts to cushion the adverse effect of COVID-19 and meet the most essential basic food needs of the beneficiaries. Flagging off the 20th edition today at the Multipurpose Hall, Local Government Service Commission, State Secretariat, Abiri, Governor Oyetola expressed satisfaction on the huge success the scheme had recorded since its introduction. Governor Yetola, who was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Prince Wole Oyebamiji, said the positive feedback has been the source of encouragement for the government to continue. 30,000 households have been benefiting directly from the scheme on a monthly basis, with a attendant multiplier effect on the socio-economic fortunes and commercial activities of the state. The government emphasizes determination to continue the program for the betterment of the people, particularly the most vulnerable, saying nothing will make the lofty initiative die. This is even as the Gary processors lauded the Oyetola social investment program, saying it has particularly dignified and elevated them to the rank of government contractors list through Gary production. Addressing the journalists shortly after the flag off, Commissioner for Regional Integration and Special Duties, Engineer Olalekan Badmus, said the scheme has impacted greatly on the economy of the state. Engineer Badmus noted that the introduction of a chauffeur support scheme has really helped to mitigate untold hardship on the part of the vulnerable segment of the population. The prudent management of resources and ability to deploy little resources judiciously to achieve more of the Governor Adegboyega Oyetola of Osun have been recognized by the Federal Ministry of Finance and the World Bank Group. To this end, Oyetola was adjudged the best governor on efficiency of public expenditure by the World Bank States Fiscal Transparency, Accountability and Sustainability (SFTAS), beating 35 other governors to clinch the coveted award. Similarly, Osun as a state also clinched another award of excellence for being the top performer on domestic revenue mobilization. Speaking shortly after receiving the awards on behalf of the governor and the state, the Osun State Finance Commissioner Honorable Bola Oyebamiji said Governor Yetola has been able to manage the debt situation of Osun in such a way that it has not affected the state's present and future development. The awards were bestowed on the governor and the state in Abuja at an event at Federal Government of Nigeria, World Bank States Fiscal Transparency, Accountability and Sustainability Recognition Dinner with Governors Awards Night. The event was organized to celebrate the achievements of the group since inception at the Transcorp Hilton, Abuja. The Global Bank said the Osun governor clinched the award following reforms which he deployed and which have impacted positively on the fiscal transparency and accountability in public resource management of the state. The group is a program that encourages and motivates Nigerian states toward improvement of their public finance management systems, processes, and institutions aimed at strengthening fiscal transparency to help build trust in government, facilitate accountability in public resource management, and ensure sustainability in the participating states. The World Bank has been rigorously assessing the states on some key direct link indicators, ELIS. In the meantime, the governor of the state of Osun, Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola, will tomorrow morning inaugurate the Southwest Grassroots Mobilization, Engagement and Rehabilitation Directorate of APC Presidential Campaign Council. According to the organizers, the program holds at Tinubu Shetima Campaign Office of Oluwa Osogbo. A release by the Director of Southwest Grassroots Mobilization, Engagement and Rehabilitation Directorate of APC Presidential Campaign Council, Otumba Titila Oyeponle, says a member of the Federal House of Representatives from Ekiti State, Honorable Ojo, will deliver a lecture on effective grassroots mobilization for electoral victory. The release added that goodwill messages is expected from leaders from each of the other 5 states in the Southwest, as well as the chairman, All Progressive Congress APC in the state, Prince Adegboyega Famodun, and the Director Southwest of Directorate, Otumba Titila Oyeponle, will welcome members. The Chairman, Governing Council of Osun State Polytechnic Ire, Dr. Ismail Sakalayonu, has charged the staffers of the school to be open doing in discharging their duties. Dr. Sakalayonu gave this charge at the official commissioning of the newly completed Faculty of Management Building Complex. Details are presented from our studios.
Completed Faculty of Management Building Complex has been commissioned by the Chairman Governing Council of Osun State Polytechnic Ire, Dr. Ismail Abiodun Sakalayonu, SAN. The building complex, which has various facilities such as lecturers' offices, dean's office, lecture halls, conference hall, research studio, mini library, computer laboratories, and several restrooms, is funded by the Tertiary Education Trust Fund intervention. The new building complex houses the Department of Business Administration and Management management, marketing and procurement and chain supply, formerly known as purchasing and supply. While speaking at the official commissioning of the building, which was initiated by the immediate past rector of the institution, Dr. Woye Olaniran, Dr. Sakalayo charged staffers of the institution to be dedicated and be more alive to their duties. He enjoined the academic staff to improve on their studies and research skills that would enhance their teaching effectiveness and efficiency. According to him, the Polytechnic is a technological-oriented institution that is meant for research in technical and entrepreneurial vocations that would make graduates of the Polytechnic job creators but not job seekers. The Polytechnic is expected to improve technological skills in the state and Nigeria. Therefore, the staff are also expected to equip themselves with necessary skills and knowledge that will meet up with the focus of the founding father. He added that authorities of the institution are ready to sponsor and encourage members of staff who are willing to embark on any research or innovation that will meet up with the institution's goals and objectives. Also speaking, Director Dr. Tajuddin Odetayo said his management is improving on the academic standard and moral rehabilitation of the students and qualitative transmission of knowledge in the Polytechnic. He frowned at indecent dressing by both female and male students, saying the management would no longer tolerate indecent dressing and other antisocial behaviors among students. Lending credence to the rector's speech, the registrar, Mr. Busari Salau, disclosed that all hands are now on deck to implement policies that will wage war against antisocial tendencies of the students. Present at the occasion were all members of the governing council, top management, extended management, staff, and students of the institution.
This is the news across the country coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation. Ilea Wujuke Bale Oshogbo, Voice of the West. Now, I read this message. The development of Osun and indeed Nigeria depends on the collaboration of all. Be patriotic. Fashion trend in Nigeria has evolved over time. The change in fashion is as a result of several factors which have in turn grown the Nigerian fashion industry. As a result, the world now acknowledges many African prints and other fashion styles in Nigeria. Let's join Daniel Ekwere for today's edition of Fashion News.
The Nigerian fashion is a distinct statement-making mode of dressing, now a forerunner in not just Africa but all over the world. The Nigerian fashion industry has undergone several changes over the decades, reinventing itself, taking parts of the old and mixing it with the new, yet retaining its distinctive look. Fashion trends in Nigeria over the past decades have experienced varying degrees of change, which has shaped the fashion industry today. The 60s and 70s saw Nigerian fashion evolve. People wore both fitted and oversized outfits depending on their preferences. Local hairstyles and native clothes was a rampant form of fashion. The 80s and 90s also saw a change in the fashion sense of individuals as fashion started experiencing subtle changes. Trouser hems became narrower and the emergence of the Ankara fabrics gained international acceptance, and before long, Asoebi became a big thing, exploding its popularity. Various factors have contributed to the growth and change in the fashion styles of the Nigerian people. Culture, customs and tradition play a very vital role in influencing fashion trends in the country. The typical Nigerian society has a profound connection with cultural beliefs and traditions. Before modernization, each tribe had its traditional attires, dress sense. Attires like Ashoke, Adire, Iran Buba, Agbada are some of the traditional wears. However, there have been evident growth in the evolution of traditional Nigerian wears. This is evident in popular Ankara fabrics and prints, which have grown to an international level of acceptance and has influenced fashion trends in Nigeria. Religion is also a major factor which has influenced fashion trends in Nigeria over the years. Nigeria is a country which upholds religious beliefs, ideologies and practices in daily life. It is evident in fashion in the dress styles of many people. For example, many female Muslims see hijab as a very important part of their dressing. So do female Christians limit how much exposure and closure they give to their bodies. However, amidst these strong religious restrictions, many people have still not shaken in showing off their fashion consciousness and style while still maintaining modesty. The emergence of Western world to the African sphere brought about a major influence on the African culture by the Western culture. In the area of fashion, the Nigerian fashion styles and trends have seen major influences. The Western culture culture inculcated their ways of dressing and their fashion sense, and with time, the Western mode of dressing stuck and became a trend in Nigerian fashion. Another major factor which has also influenced fashion trends in Nigeria is the social media. In an era of globalization coupled with technology and new innovations, the internet is a major determinant of people's views on various subjects. Social media is one of the major aspects of the internet, and it is an important tool in disseminating this view. Through social media applications like Facebook, Instagram and the likes, people have connected and established a level of connection with their fashion icons, thereby influencing their fashion choices. Many designers also use this platform for advertising their products and building a dedicated audience, and also influencing fashion trends and style. OSBC Fashion News sought the opinion of Moshood Alabi, who viewed that social media is a major influence to people's mode of dressing, and it also provides a platform for brands to reach many customers.
The social media, of course, have, as it should, tremendous influence of our daily affairs, especially our code of dressings, ideas, our sense of dressings. Through social media, what we observe online, the platform for brand organizations to disseminate information or knowledge about the said fashion sense, right? So this means to distribute it so that it reaches many people or organizations around the world.
In our own view, Favor Ugu said Western culture influences the way we dress as a result of past colonial affiliations.
As our colonial masters and civilization reaching them first, they have always had the upper hand, and they have influence in our fashion. Cultures evolve and cultures grow from each other, and this can be seen in the way we have evolved in fashion as much as they have. Western culture does not frown at indecent dressing, which is a growing trend now in Nigeria. Nigerians have always been receptors of anything that is seen as trending. Even though not everyone has actually adopted the indecent mode of dressing, indecent mode of Western dressing, but I can see that there is a smooth blend of Western dressing and fashion sense.
Daniel Ekwere for OSBC Fashion News.
Operatives of the Rapid Response Squad of Ekiti State Police Command today filed attempts by hoodlums to burn down the Ekiti Assembly Complex. According to report, the incident happened in the early hours of today when the hoodlums were said to have scaled the fence and made spirited efforts to raise a section of the complex. The assembly had been immersed in a deep-seated crisis of confidence since the emergence of the ex-minority leader Boyegari Bisogna as speaker to replace Fuminiya Foye, who died last month. In the election conducted during plenary, Bisogna garnered 15 votes to defeat Mrs. Olubomi Adelugba, who scored 10. Since that day, there had been wranglings among the lawmakers as some of them and powerful leaders of the governing APC was said to be favorably disposed to the Adelugba speakership. Meanwhile, Ekiti State Police Command Public Relations Officer DSP Sunday Abutu confirmed the attempted attack, saying the State Police Commissioner CP Morenikeji additional following intelligence reports gathered deployed watertight security to the complex and shut down the chamber to ensure safety and security of lives and property. A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory FCT have discharged and acquitted a former secretary to the government of the Federation SGF, Bachu Lawal, and 5 others from the 544 million naira contract fraud offences brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). The court today held that the anti-graft agency failed woefully to establish prima facie case against the ex-SGF and the co-defendants. Activities for the year 2022 Mesile Day celebrations climax tomorrow with youth rally and display. A release by the chairman in Mesile Day 2022 celebrations, Comrade BC Olaniyan, says chairman at the grand finale of the Mesile celebrations is Sir David Fadairo, while the Yalaje of the Mesile ship Mrs. Florence Folami Adeoye is a chief launcher. The statement further named Mr. Sheun Odofin as the principal launcher and Honorable Luwole Oke and Mrs. Tawo Oluga, both members of the House of Representatives of Abuja, as special guests of honor. Members of Osun State House of Assembly, Honorable Adewumi Adeyemi, Desmond Ojo, and Lateef Jayeola are guests of honor. Royal host is the Owa Oye of Imesile, Oba Enoch Akinyemi Oyoyo II. The 31st Iragbeji Day celebrations with the theme Expanding Our Frontiers holds tomorrow morning at Iragbeji Grammar School Playing Ground, Iragbeji. The chief host is the State Governor, Mr. Degbe Goyetola, while Alhaji Murtada Adeniji is the chairman of the occasion. The real father of the day, Oba Abdurrashid Ayotunde Olabomi Odudun IV, implored all the sons and daughters of Iragbeji to attend the occasion. Released by Iragbeji Planning Committee indicates that the family compounds of Balogun, Alushekere, Alaron, Babegbe, Olupejobi, Gbalawa Okeagbo, Aro Ologemo, Rani and others and Odofin will lead fundraising at the event. The Glorious Set 82 of Fatima College Old Boys Association Fakoba Ikire has concluded arrangement to present the committed assembly ground project embarked upon a few months ago to the National Executive of the association. In a statement by its chairman, Pastor Abimbola Oladepo Moyiwe, the two Glorious Set of Fatima College Ikire carried out the project as a mark of giving back to the school and to mark the 40th anniversary of leaving the college by members of the set. The statement noted that giving back to the school is a commonly forgotten initiative by many old students of schools and colleges. According to the statement, the presentation of the Assembly Ground project to the national executives of the association will be held on Saturday 19th, that's tomorrow, at the college premises in Ikire, Hirewori local government area of Osun State. This event will be preceded by the annual general meeting of the association to be coordinated by the national president of Fakoba, Pastor Henry Otoibe, with other national executive members in attendance, while Thanksgiving service members of the 82 set for their contribution and support to achieving this milestone. The chairman, Pastor Abimbola Oladepo Moyiwe, enjoyed all members to make themselves available at the event. And now talking sports, after a poor performance of the Super Eagles against Portugal, Nigerian Football Federation has thrown its weight behind the coach of the team, Joseph Pesairo, amid calls for him to be sacked. Motayo Adebodu has details of it and many more sports updates.
Nigeria Football Federation remains solidly behind Super Eagles head coach Jose Pesairo despite the team's poor record under the Portuguese. The Super Eagles were thrashed 4-0 in a friendly by the Portugal national team, and the defeat took Pesairo's record to a miserable 5 losses and 2 wins from 7 games. The Super Eagles have also looked nowhere a cohesive unit 5 months into Pesairo's reign. There are already calls for Pesairo to be sacked, and the Super Eagles will return to action in the 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifiers against Guinea-Bissau in March 2023. Meanwhile, Nigerian international Victor Osimhen has emerged as the best young player of the year 2022, winning the glamorous 2022 Globe Soccer Award for his excellent performance this season. Osimhen, Gavi and Vavard were the 3 finalists for the Emerging Player of the Year in Dubai, and the Nigeria international has beaten the Barcelona and Real Madrid midfielder. The other nominees that did not make it to the final were Arif Abdullah, Julian Alvarez, Jude Bellingham, Eduardo Camavinga, Josco Gravador, Nuno Mendes, Ilax Moriba, Jamal Musiala, Pedri, Bukayo Saka, and AC Milan star Rafael Leao. Osimhen has had a stunning start to the season at the Stadio Maradona thanks to 10 goals in 14 appearances across all competitions. With his performance at Napoli, the Italian side are one of the most exciting teams to watch in Europe and top Serie A with 41 points and 37 goals in 15 games. In the meantime, alcohol will not be sold to fans at the World Cup 8 Stadium in Qatar after FIFA changed its policy 2 days before the start of the tournament. Alcohol was said to be served in select areas within stadiums despite its sales being strictly controlled in the Muslim country. Those in corporate areas of stadium at the tournament will still be able to purchase alcohol. The World Cup starts on Sunday when Qatar plays against Ecuador. Motayo Adebodu, OSBC News.
And now to end the news across the country, here again are the major points. Independent National Electoral Commission INEC, so the National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, says it is making plans for a re-run presidential poll in 2023 general elections. The prudent management of resources and ability to deploy little resources judiciously to achieve more, the Governor Degbe Goyetola of Osun State have been recognized by the Federal Ministry of Finance and the World Bank Group. To this end, Governor Goyetola was adjudged the best governor on efficiency of public expenditure by the World Bank, state fiscal transparency, accountability, and Sustainability, between 35 other governors to clinch the coveted award. Operatives of the Rapid Response Court of the Ekiti State Police Command today fought attempts by hoodlums to burn down the Ekiti Assembly Complex. And a High Court of the Federal Capital Territory has discharged and acquitted a former secretary to the government of the Federation, SGF Bachir Lawal, and 5 others from the 544 million naira contract fraud offences brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. That was the news across the country put together by Olushayo Babatunde. For more about us, you can visit osbcng.org. Thanks for listening. Good evening.
It's entertaining. It's educating. Really informative.